Hi everyone! Okay, so I'm going to give a few moments, like always, for people to come on and join in. I hope everybody has been doing well this week. Okay, so I see people are coming in now. Hello, hello, welcome. Welcome back to another week of Heckscher at Home. This is the kids edition. My name is Lisa. I'm so happy to have you guys here with me. Can you believe it? It is week 11. I'm super excited to show you guys today's project. Hey Joy, hi Alyssa. Okay, so I'm gonna give about another moment or two for people to come on in and join. Okay, so I hope everyone has had a wonderful week since I saw you last Tuesday. I am back again with Kids Edition with a brand new project. So if you've been here before, welcome back. If this is your first time, thank you so much for joining us. Okay, so if you don't know what we do here, I'm going to explain a little bit. So what I like to do is show you guys a work of art either from the Heckscher Museum's permanent collection or something that we currently have view on one of our virtual exhibitions online. So to show you guys what we will be looking at, I have my iPad here. And I'm really pumped to show you guys what I have in store. It's very different than what we did here last week. So what's going to happen is once we look at this together, we're going to learn a bit about it, and then we're going to get inspired by this work of art and create our own work right there at home with materials that everybody has available to them. Okay, awesome. So without further ado, let's go ahead and look at today's work of art. So if you have a surface in front of you, make sure you help me do a little drum roll and a countdown in a 3, 2, 1. Ta-da! So if anybody has any issues seeing this, please do let me know. Hi Jess, welcome. Okay, so I want you guys to take a few moments to go ahead and just look at this from top to bottom. Try to make your own observations by taking in all those little details. Tell me what your first impressions are. If there are any colors that stick out to you, if you think this looks like something, I definitely want to hear it. Okay, let's go ahead and look at the comments here. Okay, yes, I do have my handy dandy iPad. I do say that very often. So looking at this, what colors would you guys say you notice right away? Okay, so we see lots of red, we see lots of different shapes. Hi Peggy, thank you so much for joining us today, and we have lots of orange. Very good, guys. So somebody mentioned shapes here. So can you guys name some of the shapes that we see recurring all throughout this work of art? Some main ones that we all know. What different kind of shapes do you guys see? I definitely see some circles right over here. See a circle there, see a circle on the inside. What other shapes do you guys see? Okay, awesome. So we have circles as well as rectangles. And I think I also see some squares in here. I would even go as far to say that we have a parallelogram over there. And some of these rectangles are really, really skinny, as you can see on the bottom, whereas others are really big and wide, as you can see from over here. I'll go ahead and zoom in so you guys can see that this rectangle is definitely bigger and wider than the ones that are down here. Awesome. So looking at all of these shapes that are being put together, another word we could use for these shapes to describe them are geometric. So I've definitely spoken about the word geometric and organic on other episodes before, but just to refresh everybody's memory, when we're talking about a geometric shape, those are ones that are more angular and they have those sharp corners like rectangles or squares or triangles, or I said a really difficult one, a parallelogram. So those we can refer to as being geometric. whereas organic lines or shapes are more natural, or they look like wavy, or they don't really have those sharp edges that I was talking about before. Okay, hi Allison, thank you so much for joining us. Fantastic. So we can see that the artist here has used a lot of those simple shapes, but built them up together to really make these this fun work of art. So the name of this artist is Lee Adler, and the title of his piece is Two Figures. Now, why do you guys think he might have called this work of art Two Figures? What do you guys think? What do you think it's supposed to be, just from the title alone? If they're going to be two figures, so two different, let's say, people or friends, what do they look like they're supposed to be? We're looking at all of these shapes being combined together. Yeah, Joy, I would think that they are friends as well. Very good friends. You can see they're very close up against one another. But are these friends people? Are they animals? What could they remind you of? So to me, especially because I'm seeing all of those sharp edges and corners and all of those simple shapes that are being used together, it really reminds me of robots. It feels very like mechanical, like different like parts or some, like screws, especially this part right here in the middle. It looks like a screw that was put in here. So it definitely reminds me of a robot. What do you guys think? Do you agree or do you disagree? Oh, nice. Somebody said it looks like a mother and a child. I love that. And great, Joy agrees with me about the robots. But if you guys have any different ideas, definitely let me know. But right away, it gives off that very mechanical feel because of all of those geometric shapes that Lee Adler uses to create this work of art. So I think it's really fun to think about, how do you think Lee Adler began this work of art? How do you think he started creating something like this? So if you ask me, I think he would have had to start with the bigger shapes to create a layout, and then he went back in with smaller shapes to add details that really gave each of these robots their own personality. So I say personality here because do these two robots look the same? What differences do you guys notice between these two? So for me, I definitely noticed that one is really tall, and then the other one is definitely short. And then whereas this one right here is really, really skinny in its body, this one is super wide. So we have a lot of these differences in just these two robots here. And it's funny that one person said they look like friends, and then one of you guys also said that it reminds them of a mother and a child. So we can make different relationships out of these two figures as well. Okay, so I really love the idea of thinking that these two robots were friends or buddies. And I thought it'd be really great if we could use our imagination and take simple shapes like Adler does and create something really fun out of it. So with that idea, I'm going to introduce you guys to today's project. So Alyssa said that this reminds her of her and her best friend, and she's the short one. How short are you, Alyssa? I would probably be the tall one in that friendship. I'm very tall. I'm like 5'9". Okay, so to show you guys what we'll be doing today, I'm super excited. If you haven't already seen, because I did post this online, but I have my two friends here. I'm going to show you my first friend right now. Dun dun. Doo-doo. Everybody say hello. This is my robot friend. His name is J-Hope. Say hi, J-Hope. Hi, guys. So you might be wondering yourself, hey Lisa, why did you name your robot buddy J-Hope? How did you come up with that name? Well, I thought it'd be really great to have somebody or something that stands for hope and peace, and he really wants to spread that to the entire world. And I decided to give him, if you can notice down here, these jet packs for legs, because I thought it'd be really fun to give him some kind of a superpower. Because come on, if you're a robot, you have to have some kind of additional cool strength to you. So this makes him incredibly fast, and it helps him send his message out as quick as possible to as many people as possible. Okay, so are you guys ready to meet J-Hope's friend? J-Hope, call out your friend. We got... This is V. And our dog V here actually stands for victory, because we want to be victorious in spreading our message of hope and peace all around the world. And of course, cannot forget, dogs are some of the best companions man or robot can have. And if you can see, he also has that jetpack for a tail, so he can keep up with his buddy J-Hope. So this is V, and this is J-Hope. So as you guys can see, I definitely came up with a whole story and a story for the friendship between J-Hope and V. And I definitely want you guys to do the same thing. Make it as unique and fun as possible. You know, I could almost even write a little short story that I can make up in my imagination or my head about these two. And I just had a super good time just playing around, coming up with different ideas for what I wanted to create. So without further ado, I'm going to show you guys how I got from, a few pieces of paper into making these really two fun friends. Okay, I'm really happy that you guys like him as well. Very cool. Okay. So just to show you guys the two differences really quick. Again, this was the original work of art that we are basing our project on, which was two figures by artist Lee Adler. And then after looking at that, this is my robot that I created. And this was his companion, or the second figure that I decided to draw, which was the dog V. All right. So the materials that you would need to do this project are super, super simple. I bet everybody has it available in their homes. So what you would need is a piece of paper. Okay, actually this one has my sketch. So a piece of paper. Then you would need some kind of coloring material. For me, I use these multicolored Sharpies. But definitely if you have any kind of markers at home, that's totally fine. Crayons, colored pencils, whatever is easier or that you have available to you, that is totally cool. But if you do have access to markers, I definitely recommend it because it makes everything look just a bit more vibrant and stand out. So markers. I needed scissors, a glue stick to help everything stick together, an eraser, and of course, cannot go out with a pencil. Okay, so the first thing that I had to do was I needed to come up with a plan. And we were really concentrating on this idea of simple shapes. So, you're working with circles, rectangles, triangles, squares. And when you look at them, they're, maybe not that much. It's kind of simple. But when you're able to build and put them together, they can create a really, really amazing project. So what I decided to do was I wanted to plan out what my robot could possibly look like. So I started coming up with different shapes that I really liked, and I started sketching them with my pencil on my paper to see what looked the best. And then I also started thinking of, well, what color is it going to be, and what colors are going to look best together? Or, what superpower is my robot going to be having? So many different things. While mine can fly and it has a jetpack, yours can know all of the languages in the world and can communicate with anybody. Or maybe it's part submarine and it can go into the very depths of the ocean and become friends with all of the fish and wildlife down there. The possibilities are truly limitless. So I definitely hope you take it to the next level and come up with something really, really cool. All right. So I showed you guys a little sneak peek. But let me show you how I started off with my sketch. So this is actually a different sketch that I did, not the one that's for this final project. So I'll show you guys from scratch how you can create your own robot buddy and then start putting it together with your different shapes. So this is a different sketch that I came up with here. And as you can see, I wanted to give you two different examples. So whereas this was my original, this is a different robot that I came up with. So you can see I have a rectangle for the head. I have this triangle-like shape for the body. And then I included really, really long and thin arms over here. And then if you can see on the bottom, he is rolling instead of for his feet. And then he has like, I don't know what you would call them, those claws, I guess you could say, like metal claws. And then in the middle, I made all of these different like knobs and different mechanical things to really give it that robot feel. And then he has like a sensor at the top. He also has Wi-Fi. I decided that was one of his things, portable Wi-Fi. So this was my sketch that I started out with, and I traced it in black marker just so you guys would be able to see better, but this was originally done in pencil. Oh, hi Maggie. Please don't worry if you are late. Welcome now. Remember, you can always rewatch this once we're done because it'll be reloaded. But thank you so much for joining us live. Fantastic. So remember, this is my sketch that I started with, and I'll show you guys how I cut out all those different shapes and started to put them together. So whereas for my original, I decided that I wanted all cool colors like purples, blues, and greens because I really wanted my flames on the bottom to stand out. But this time, I decided to go with a green and orange theme. So as you guys can see from my sketch, since I planned all this out, I needed to cut out the shapes. So not only did I have white paper, but I also had a ton of different colored paper. Now, if you don't have colored construction paper at home, you can always take a white piece of paper and color it in with your markers or colored pencils or crayons, and then you can make your own colored paper at home. But so I have my construction paper, so that's what I use. So again, I cut out this shape to match that one in the middle for the body. And then I cut out this shape for the head over here. And then I cut out a circle for that middle part there. And then I cut out a ton of these really skinny rectangles for the arms and the legs. So for the other parts, I decided that I actually wanted to draw those in with my choice of coloring materials to add in all of those finer details. So what you can do is you would grab your piece of paper and you would start arranging all of your different pieces. So you would go ahead and just start arranging. And then once you were done, you would then go ahead and glue everything down, and then you would be able to go in with your choice of colored markers or crayons or whatever you decided to go with, and you would be able to start filling in all the different details. And so what I actually did is, if you can see from the back of mine is actually white because I started out on a piece of paper just like this, and I glued all my pieces of paper together, and then I actually cut my robot out once it was done with the planning phase. So once you do all those different little details, you would be able to get your own little friend like this. But if you guys can see here, his head is a tiny bit floppy. So something that I can suggest to all of you guys is, if you have any popsicle sticks laying around, or for me, I have a ton of these old straws that my family doesn't use anymore. We switched away from using plastic. So I have all of these that, you know, we're not actually using for drinking straws, but I can use for my projects. So what you can do is take a straw or a popsicle stick or any kind of thing that'll give you a bit, it'll make your project a bit more sturdy. And you would just go ahead and stick that onto the back. And I'm going to just do that now for you guys to be able to see. Or maybe not. I can't find my tape right now. So you would just stick this onto the back, and then it would let you be able to make it a bit more sturdy. And once it's long enough, you can actually use it to make it kind of like a puppet, and you can put on some kind of a show. So for me, for instance, I came up with this whole storyline about how J-Hope and his dog V were on this mission to spread hope and joy and love to the rest of the world. And if you happen to have like other action figures or stuffed animals or anything along those lines, you can maybe do a performance for them or put on some kind of a show, make up your own TV show based on the characters that you've created. Just have a ton of fun with it. I really, really enjoyed myself while I was creating all of this stuff. So that is it for this week's project. Thank you so much for joining me guys today. And I just want to show you guys one more time the work of art that we were basing this on, which was this right here, Lee Adler's 2 figures. And from looking at that, we created our own 2 robots. So I hope you guys enjoyed this week's project. I had a really good time, as always, hanging out with you guys and being creative and imaginative. If you do this project, please make sure you upload it online. Tag us, the Heckscher Museum, on social media so we can see all of the amazing things that you guys have created. And please join me again next Tuesday at 3 p.m. right here on Facebook Live, where I will bring you guys another cool project that we can all do together right at home. All right, guys, make sure you stay connected with us on social media to see all the other amazing things that we do. My name is Lisa. Have an awesome day. Bye, guys.